What's up, guys? Chris here with Ballin' with the Boys. Alongside me is Justin, as you guys know. We got a huge announcement to make. If we hit 500 subscribers, your boy Chris is going to be cutting his hair as a bald fade. So all this hair is going to be gone. Now, here's the thing. We hit 1,000 subscribers. My boy Justin here. Normally it's longer, not tied up, but he's going to go bald too. All this has to happen by the end of the year. But here's a catch. If we hit 2,000 subscribers, you guys don't normally see him, but our cameraman, Brady, will also do this too. I didn't say bald, but I meant bald fade.
Okay. I was about to say, I don't think we fully agreed to this. Hold on, we're going to have to retract, get lawyers involved, sign some contracts.
But there's one more surprise. If we hit 2,500 subscribers by the end of the year, not only are us three going to cut our hair as a bald fade, I will also shave completely. Clean shave.
Babyface Papa Chris.
What are we going to do with the hair, Chris?
Great question. We are going to be donating our hair. We're not sure where yet, but after it's all cut, and if we hit that goal, we will be donating our hair. Because you guys know, if you ain't balling with your boys, who you balling with?
That's right.
We out.
What is up, everybody? It seems like it might have been a little bit of a long break for us, but your boys are back in the studio cooking up another episode for you with three teams again. So, without further ado, Chris, go ahead and give us the first team.
No. First team is, we're going to be talking about my team. Sad to say they didn't do so hot last season. Hopefully they're on a come up. Hopefully Kyler Murray, if that gives it away, we're going to be talking about the Cardinals. But hopefully Kyler Murray comes back healthy, comes back stronger.
And focused.
That too, honestly, I mean, with this being my team, I'm going to have my doubts too. Like everybody has their doubts in their teams. So, let's jump into it, where in the first round, the Cardinals selected Paris Johnson, offensive tackle. Great pickup, honestly, because I'm tired of seeing Kyler Murray run the ball. That's why he got hurt last season.
I mean, yeah.
So, a great offensive tackle like Paris Johnson is something great to have on your offensive line. So, hopefully Kyler Murray won't have to run the ball as much, can able to focus more, like you said, and get the ball down the field.
Yeah, I mean, another guy that they picked up in the draft to help protect him, they drafted John Gaines II in the fourth round. He's a guard that's going to, I assume, probably play backup for a little bit, but eventually probably be right up there on the line with him. And you've been talking a lot about Kyler Murray, but under center for them, for when the Call of Duty season drops, is Colt McCoy. So I don't know what y'all are doing during that time, but better figure something out.
Yeah, so a lot happened during the draft, though. The Cardinals ended up trading down, then trading back up. So, I got the trade details right here, where the Cardinals traded with the Texans for the first round third pick. And the Cardinals got a first round 12th pick, a second round 33rd pick, and a 2024 first round pick. So I was like, all right, cool, awesome. Then they traded back up with the Lions to get the first round 6th pick. So not only do they have a first rounder already next year, but they got who was a great offensive tackle. They didn't really lose much as I wish they would have gotten. I believe his name was Will Anderson that went to the Texans.
Yep.
I wish they got him to make up for J.J. Watt, but they had other plans.
That's what I mean. The Texans got Will Anderson to make up for J.J. Watt, just a couple years too late.
Yeah, I mean, even though he's going back to retire as a Texan, so
No kidding.
I believe so, or he's a part of the Ring of Honor.
Either
or whatever
way,
they call. I believe he's supposed to show up there the first day.
News to me.
Speaking of a side note about J.J. Watt, I heard that he almost went to the Steelers to go play with his brothers.
I mean, like, that'd have been cool just because, like, the little brother trio. I don't think that's been done in the NFL yet, but at the same time, that dude is old. He needs to retire.
Well, I mean, he did announce the retirement last season, so, I mean, people do, catch like an energy burst or something in them where it's like, oh, I think I'm ready to play again.
Now, if his brothers hit
You're
the
not
Super
really
Bowl,
ready to play again.
if his brothers hit the Super Bowl, that's where that energy spurt's gonna come from.
Sign him for just a one-game contract.
No kid.
But back to the Cardinals, though. Their next pick wasn't bad either. With them losing J.J. Watt, though, and they released Marcus Golden, they picked up someone who got 36 solo tackles and 5.5 sacks, and that was and they actually he just signed his contract. BJ Ojulari. I believe that's how you say it. I believe it's BJ Ojulari, an LSU edge rusher. So I'm excited to see what he can do with this defense. I still think the defense needs more improvement, especially with Buda Baker on the edge, because he requested for a trade this season or this offseason. So luckily they were able to work some things out, kept him another season. Hopefully they can go to the playoffs to, because Buda Baker's like the best defensive player on that team. So I hope that he stays. One of my favorite players on that team. Some other pickups they got was a guy named Garrett Williams to make up for Byron Murphy, so the cornerback. Michael Wilson to make up for D-Hop, after releasing D-Hop.
Yeah.
So more wide receiver depth. And John Gaines, another offensive tackle.
Yeah, apparently Marco Wilson has himself on the his list of top 3 cornerbacks.
Yeah.
I seen a video. They was asking him, like, who's your top 3 cornerbacks in the league? And it was like Marco Wilson. I'm like, okay, first of all, they didn't ask you your name, dude.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, they definitely.
I feel like that's kind of selfish. It's like, oh, who's your it's like Tom Brady, who's your favorite quarterbacks? Well, Tom Brady, number 1. Like, don't be selfish. Like, yeah, you're a good quarterback, but there's other good quarterbacks out there too.
And if your name's Tom Brady, no.
I mean, I'm a Tom Brady hater, but I can't hate that he plays the game so well.
Yeah. I mean, but like you were saying about their defense, yeah, they definitely still need some more work because DJ Humphries is pretty much the main guy that consists of their line since J.J. Watt is gone, like you were saying. They lost Zach Allen as well. They drafted a Dante Sills in the 6th round to kind of fill that void for Zach Allen, I believe. But I don't know if he's going to start right away or not.
I do believe that they're moving Isaiah Simmons from linebacker. I don't know if they're moving him to like a slot corner or two-way corner because of Byron Murphy being gone, or if they're going to move him to safety. Because in college, Isaiah Simmons played everywhere.
That man turned down a $12 million 5th-year option.
I mean, I can't really.
What?
Sometimes it is about money, but sometimes it's also about winning championships. I mean, I get why people sometimes want to leave, but can't do nothing about it at the end of the day.
Tell him you'll step up.
Yeah, definitely, I'll step up.
You can go ahead and call their new head coach.
Yeah, I could. and I guarantee you I will get sent a voicemail and never hear anything back.
His voicemail's probably full, dude. Nah, have you seen the way he looks? He looks like the kind of snarky rich guy that just doesn't ever pick up his
I couldn't imagine NFL coaches' emails that they have to go through.
They probably hire somebody to do it for them.
I mean, you could hire an assistant to do that, but
Or
then
maybe
again, I mean,
maybe that's just why they get married. Honey,
yeah.
get anything important from the office today? It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. You have a meeting at 12
Right.
with your star running back.
I'm sure they got like
what?
a scheduler or something. You know, technology nowadays, so
Yeah, they're a system.
wow. That's messed up.
Scandalous. She's so scandalous.
Oh. So if you're done with the Cardinals, I'm done with the Cardinals.
No.
You got more on Cardinals?
No. I mean, we definitely, you breezed past their offense. You literally brought up Kyler Murray and jumped straight to the defense, dude.
Well, I feel like their offense isn't
Don't
bad.
you dare. Okay, I thought you was about to say stayed the same. Because I was about to say they lost D-Hop.
Yes.
No more Robbie Anderson.
No. Whoa.
Chosen.
Thank you.
Whatever.
He is no longer legally Robbie Anderson.
He looks
He
like
named-
he should have been
Bro,
on the cast that
was
Don't Be a
That is
Menace.
a crazy story itself. You go and change your name, and then like right after you change your name to Chosen Anderson, Arizona's like, no, go. You're done.
It's the same thing they did.
He got released.
Same thing they did to Full Metal World Peace, bro. People start changing their names and they're like, oh, he's great. Which, I mean, Full Metal World Peace is kind of pushing it, but like, that's basketball for people that aren't following. But nah, I mean, like, come on, they don't have AJ Green. They still got Marquise Brown and Rondell Moore. Now, I am kind of hopeful on Rondell Moore. I think that he's probably going to do pretty good. People are saying Greg Dortch is going to do better this year. They got some of the Colts leftovers. Zach Pascal.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Zach Pascal. He couldn't play good for the Colts. He ain't going to play good here. Marquise Brown, definitely going to do good. Rondell Moore, definitely going to do good. Greg Dortch showed himself last season when Rondell Moore was out that he can play good football as a wide receiver. So I'm very hopeful with that trio. Here's the thing. I'm ready to see what Trey McBride can do on the offense other than Zach Ertz. Because they're bringing Zach Ertz for another year. But I'm ready to see what Trey McBride can do.
One more year with Zach Ertz, and then he's probably going to retire, if you ask me. But I think Trey McBride's a decent tight end overall, I guess. But, like, you think that their wide receiver that they drafted might have potential to take Greg Dortch's spot? Michael Wilson?
So Greg Dortch was a special teams guy. So I see Michael Wilson starting there. Because you got to have somebody starting there because if you're going to start Greg Dortch. Me personally, I wouldn't have my player or my special teams guy also play wide receiver. Then turn around and have to worry about punting, punt returns, kick returns, running down the field for a play. I feel like they'll just get too winded after that. So I feel like Michael Wilson's going to be your special teams guy.
Listen, all I'm saying is if you're getting paid a certain amount of millions, you shouldn't get winded.
No, but I mean, like, you can't say that you're not going to get exhausted from...
You gonna be tired after the game? Sure, you can go to your hotel room or
So
your
they're
house
like,
and
why risk putting a good player out there who's going to get exhausted and then say on a punt return, gets blasted, and then he's hurt?
Well, because now you got Michael Wilson to come in.
That's why you put Michael Wilson as your special teams guy. Greg Dortch as your slot guy.
Ah. Well, we'll just have to see how that plays out in the OTAs, I guess.
Yeah. The only other thing I'm worried about with the offense, though, is James Conner. He's good, but he's not great. Like, he can play, like, he can go from double-digit points in fantasy football and then turn around 2 games later, or, 2 games back-to-back, go with single points. He's not consistent, but that's what I'm saying is he's good, but he's not great.
I mean, if you ask me right now, your team is at the point where it's kind of a play any back. Whatever back they can get cooking is the one that they're going to roll with for that game. They're probably going to try to go with a committee, run all 3. And if people are wanting,
if you want my personal opinion, I seen they got him too, but still, Corey Clement didn't do much in Philly.
I mean, he was back up to Miles Sanders for a while, for like 2-3 years.
Yeah, and then they had Kenneth Gainwell, then they got Boston Scott. So, basically you're picking up Philly scraps at that point.
I mean, you are, but what is James Conner? Like Cardinal scraps.
I feel like they should have kept Eno Benjamin. Like, why'd you get rid of Eno Benjamin?
Because he has a weird first name.
Well, that's rude. Just get somebody they did get rid of Chosen Anderson, so I guess if you've got a weird name, they're going to release you. But overall, I feel like the Arizona Cardinals are in rebuild mode. I don't even think they're going to worry about this season.
Do they have the blueprints, though?
I don't know. You got a new GM. They got a new head coach. It's all about, how does the season go and where are they going to start at? Because, right now, they don't know if Kyler Murray is going to be starting week 1 or not. So, at that point, you're looking at Colt McCoy to start, and, it's just Colt McCoy, and same thing, he's just like James Conner.
No, he ain't.
He's worse. Good, but he's not great.
He's worse than James Conner. On a production level. Oh, boy. Interception City.
So, I feel like they just need to rebuild. They need to get a consistent running back. Depending on how Dorsch does, we'll see if he does bad, and then we'll see how Michael Wilson does. If he does bad, then we need to go get a consistent wide receiver. They need to work more on the defense. That's where I'm really thinking we're in rebuild mode because the defense just don't seem solid.
And defense wins games.
It's facts. But
I was looking for a defensive player to ain't that right? But you guys aren't even real.
So yeah, the defense just isn't solid. So if you want my honest opinion, this team is probably going 5-12.
Ooh, very harsh on your own team. Jesus, Chris, I was even gonna say your soul
I will state. Best thing that ever happened was when they got rid of Cliff Kingsbury. I was so excited when they got rid of him. Worst head coach ever.
Worst.
Well, that was like you with the Bengals a couple years ago until they got Zach Taylor.
Yeah, that's fair, but it was also Andy Dalton that was the problem, and I knew that. I think the only people that didn't know that was the head coach.
So
they fixed it though. Joey B. We're gonna be talking about you soon, my boy. That was supposed to come out way smoother than what it did, but that is okay. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowgirls. Let's go. I'm really 50-50 on their draft. I'm not too sure on how if they did good or even if they did bad.
Well, they didn't think they had a problem with their offensive line because they only drafted a tackle, and it was a Sim Richards, and I'm pretty sure it was late in the draft. So it seemed like they had their boy Dak Prescott. Seemed really comfortable last season, which he didn't show that. if you ask me. But like, I mean, hey, what's the name of the guy that be running that place? The Cowboys team. Who owns it? Jimmy.
Jerry Jones?
Jerry.
Is it Jerry Jones?
Jerry Jones. Sean Sherry. Whatever your name is.
Yeah, we're talking about you, Jerry.
Springer.
Wait. Yeah, so like I said, I'm 50-50 on their draft because their first round pick I feel like could have done better. But it wasn't also a bad pick for them. So in their first round picks, they got Mozzie Smith, who was a defensive tackle. And at first during the draft, I was like, why did you go after a defensive tackle in the first round? But then, I mean, if you go and look on their depth chart on ESPN, they got Mozzie Smith as a starter. Then again, I mean, you got to, keep the little side note in your head that the depth chart isn't solid yet.
I was gonna say, I mean, their defensive line didn't look good. I mean, they really don't have too many notable players on it. They got DeMarcus Lawrence on the end, and you got Dorrance Armstrong on the end. They did get Dante Fowler Jr., I think. I seen, but like their defensive tackle spot, their actual defensive tackle spot, not the ends. They're kind of just unproven players at this point anyway. So Mozzie Smith getting drafted in the first and walking onto the starting spot, I could definitely see for that position.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find something because, like, recently the Cowboys just did something with Trayvon Diggs. They extended his contract.
Yeah, they signed that boy to a contract that's worth $94 million.
It's okay. Justin just gave the details.
And then guess what, dude? Yeah, I seen that. I seen like a TikTok video telling me that Trayvon Diggs was getting paid $94 million. The max payout was like $103, I think. Which if he gets his max payout, makes him the highest paid cornerback ever in the league, which is crazy. And then I swiped one video down because I wasn't looking for that information. I was just looking for like Cowboys news, right? Just doing some research for the podcast. And the next thing I see is CeeDee Lamb burning him a few different times down the field, catching the ball just every single time. I'm like, they seen that.
You know what's about to happen.
And signed that boy to 5 years.
Jalen Ramsey's gonna be coming after a contract after this season. If he gets a max, Jalen Ramsey's definitely gonna be coming after a contract.
There's gonna be a lot of people want to get paid. Sauce Gardner.
Not Isaiah Rodgers. Wait, sorry, it's too soon.
Too soon.
He won't be after any contract. It's not the only one, so I can't. I was gonna say if it's the only one, I'll toss it to you.
We'll just white out his.
Well, black out his.
Fair.
Honestly, like I'm not really too concerned about their defense. That's why I was like, why did you go after a defensive tackle? But what I feel like is going to hurt this team the most is that they gave up Dalton Schultz. But yeah, like in the second round, they got a rookie tight end, and they got another tight end, Jake Ferguson. Some name that some people don't know. But if you do know, Jake Ferguson was behind Dalton Schultz. And he didn't actually put up too bad of a stat being behind Dalton Schultz. He had 19 receptions for 174 yards and had 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's being behind, a top tight end. So, of course, he's not going to have big stats, but at least he had some stats.
And for the people that don't know the name of the tight end they drafted in the second, it is Luke Schoonmaker or something like that. It's a little bit of a weird one. But also filling in that position could be Sean McCann. I don't know how to say it. They signed him to Or it could be Princeton Fant. No, not Noah Fant's son. That'd make Noah like King Fant or something. But like, I don't know. They have a solid amount of tight ends.
Is that
to
4
choose
tight
from.
ends that they have?
Yeah, that's 4 different ones that they have.
Who?
on the
What other
roster
team
at
was
the
it that
moment.
had like 5 or 4 tight ends? Was it?
Probably the Seahawks. That's some Seahawks stuff.
I was gonna say, was it the Seahawks or was it Broncos? I couldn't remember
Probably not the Broncos.
because they had it was the Seahawks because they had Disley, Fant, and O'Shaughnessy, something like that.
What did you just call me?
I can't remember his name.
Definitely not O'Shaughnessy. What'd you say?
That's what I said. And I can't remember. I mean, I guess he wasn't that important to remember, but at least I gave it a try.
Nah, he was a good one. I'm mad we can't remember it right now, but that's okay. On top of their tight ends, they got CeeDee Lamb. Like I said, we've seen him burning Trayvon Diggs. Him and Michael Gallup are low-key a duo that would go crazy with a star quarterback behind him.
Yeah, too bad their quarterback is named Dak Prescott, who is low-key Kirk Cousins.
Or Cooper Rush, who I believe is 8-0.
I think he lost one, actually.
Okay, we'll go 8-1.
I think he might have lost
Did he?
one. I can't remember.
Maybe.
Honestly, like, throughout the season, Dak is okay
It's all right.
until he gets hurt. And then he's out for a while. Cooper Rush comes in, saves the day. But I'm honestly kind of excited to see how this trio goes with them adding Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is finally going to have a decent quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Brandon Cooks is going to have a fun little time.
What do you think this means for Brandon Cooks' fantasy value?
Being behind.
I think he's worth trading. Oh, no, I thought he was going to say no. Never mind. I don't want him. I promise. I'm okay. No, I'm okay. No, that's not happening.
I don't know. I mean, being behind CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks has been in the league for some years now. And, I mean, he's getting older. I would almost put him at maybe like a Tyler Boyd, but he doesn't have the quarterback that Tyler Boyd does. So it's going to take him even lower. I'd put him at roughly a flex spot on their offense, but an iffy one. It depends on how deep your league is. If you're in a league like ours where there's 14 teams, then yeah, I mean, he might be somebody to look at. If you're in a 8-team league, why are you looking that deep on free agency?
Well, here's the other thing, too, is like when you said flex spot, it made me think, like, I wonder where they're actually going to put Brandon Cooks. Like, are they going to put him at wide receiver 2? Are they going to leave it to Michael Gallup? Or are they going to put Michael Gallup in the slot? Put Brandon outside? Because CD's wide receiver 1. They're not taking that away from CD. So, I wonder how that's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, but we're just going to have to see how that works out throughout their practices and stuff like that. They also got a Jalen Brooks that we might be seeing hop on the field every once in a while. They drafted him in the 7th round this year. I was about to say, so we got a big question mark on their tight end position and who we're going to see fill that throughout the season.
We ain't got a question mark on that running back decision no more.
Because Ezekiel Elliott is gone.
Heck yeah, Tony Pollard time, baby!
And I was too far digging into news on the Cowboys because I came across some dude that was literally just slandering Ezekiel Elliott's name, talking about how he's like a horn dog, and I guess he's got a couple of lawsuits against him, and here we go with the legal issues again. But apparently that's one of the reasons that they also kind of just left him to the side. Somebody said that they seen him at a party a couple weekends ago, and he was just chasing around a bunch of white women. I don't know what that means or entails, but sounds like he was having a good time.
Sounds like the reason why he hasn't gotten picked up by a team yet.
I mean, yeah, probably. I would say so. So now you got Tony Pollard who's stepping in, but for one more year at the moment.
Yes, at the moment, because he is a part of the huge thing going on with the running backs. Speaking of which, Saquon, what's your issue, dude? Literally, you gained $1 million more dollars. I don't know if that just made sense.
$1 million more dollars.
You gained just another $1 million off of your franchise tag.
We're gonna get you.
So you just signed $11 million contract, but you was complaining off your franchise tag.
He's not. I guarantee you, he's not happy with what he just got. He just got basically a franchise tag. That the other $1 million.
I'm sorry, but like if you're gonna
incentives.
host this big Zoom call with all these star running backs and be like, oh, I'm holding out, and then they're like, hey, Saquon, we'll give you $11 million if you sign with us. Oh yeah, I'm in. That don't make no sense. Like you're trying to hold out because you want bigger money. But here you are only signing an $11 million contract. Next time you cry about something, I don't even care, dude.
See, I don't think that
because I was totally like with him about, hey, I think running backs should get paid higher. For one, because
a little bit higher.
I think they just need to be paid higher in general because they do carry a lot of the workload. I mean, their value is going down, but that's because teams are now signing quarterbacks that can run the ball and throw the ball, so their value is going to go down. They don't play running backs how they used to.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely don't, but at the same time, that's even more reason as to why they shouldn't be getting a pay raise with their workload decreasing.
So, like, my main thing was, though, with Saquon, I was on his side about it all.
I mean, with Saquon, yeah, pay that man. He was number one in targets. I get that situation.
He carried that team.
But if Gus Edwards goes complaining about how much he makes, I'm going to probably,
that was another thing.
Throw it right to the side.
That was another thing I seen, because a part of that Zoom call was J.K. Dobbins. And I was like, first of all, why in the world is J.K. Dobbins on that Zoom call? First of all, you got to stay healthy enough to prove you need paid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many running backs in the league that wouldn't deserve that pay increase. That, sure, you can pay the ones that deserve it, but it's only if they deserve it. I don't think necessarily that the whole league as a whole should increase the pay for the running backs. I think if you're a good running back like Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor in a couple years, maybe he's got to still prove himself.
This season,
Damian Pierce, in a couple years,
prove himself. He proved himself in the what season are we going? The 21 season.
That was for one season. Zeke proved himself for one season, dude. Now he's off the Cowboys.
Yeah, but Taylor proved himself. But Zeke, on the other hand, he had a decent offensive line, where the Colts had a crappy offensive line last season.
How do we get to talk about the Colts, man? Where do we keep going wrong with this?
I think it's mainly because nobody wants to talk about the Cowboys.
That's probably, you ain't lying. So while we're still talking about the Colts, our old running back, Nyheim Hines, he's out for the season, bro. Did you hear?
Yeah, I guess somebody decided to go jet skiing and get hit by one.
Well, he was just stationary. I think somebody else used him.
Oh, I didn't say that, he wasn't stationary or he was, but I was just saying, he got hit by one. I mean, sorry to hear about it, but be more cautious.
I mean, somebody just used him as a jet ski ramp.
But speaking about him, I seen some news about the Bills bringing in people to should I even continue? Because now we're going to the Bills.
Yeah, go ahead, and then we retract.
Okay, so because I'm about to merge this into the XFL a little bit.
Where'd the XFL come from?
Because, listen, the Bills brought in running backs. There was two names I didn't know, but there was one that stood out. They brought in Abram Smith. Do you remember him?
From the Defenders.
Yes.
Ooh.
They were having him at a tryout, so I don't know how it went, but I was like, dude, If Abram Smith could sign with the Bills, that would be awesome for him.
The title for this podcast is gonna have to be crazy. This episode.
Just title it. What team are we talking about?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
I'm excited to see what happens with that.
But all right, guys, as done talking about other NFL teams, I'm gonna revert back to the Cowboys and just talk about their other pickups. They got a guy named DeMarvion Overshown, Viliami Fehoko. Dude, these are some crazy names. I'm sorry if I butcher these.
You better run these through Google Translate before we hop on a podcast. next
Asim
time,
Richards,
Chris.
Eric Scott Jr., Deuce Vaughn, which I'm sure we might see him a little bit because I believe he's going to probably back up Pollard.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then,
he probably will, yeah.
Like Justin said earlier, Jalen Brooks.
Did you get that they drafted a Cooper Hodges in the 7th? I lied.
Oh,
I
okay.
lied.
Okay.
Wrong notes.
Is that jumping into the next ones?
Yeah, it might be, but like, how good do you think? Oh, wait, no, because there is. They picked up Malik Hooker, dude.
They've had Malik Hooker.
Nuh-uh.
I could have sworn they had Malik Hooker.
No way.
Dude.
No.
I
He's gonna say that.
No, wait, yeah, I think it was the Titans that had Malik Hooker.
What I'm saying. We almost forgot him. He came from Indy too. But besides that, they got Donovan Wilson and Jaron Kearse, who will probably end up being the main guys there. I don't know. Hooker be getting burnt. And I was trying to find some extra stuff for the Cowboys, but like you said, nobody likes talking about the Cowboys. All I found while I was like searching on the search bar for TikTok for Cowboys stuff was more and more clips of like different cheerleaders for the Dallas Cowboys getting cut for like various reasons. For like some of the dumbest reasons too. They cut one for her weight, which A was crazy because like no. There might be a time when it becomes a problem, but it was way too far from that. And then the next one was because her boyfriend exposed her.
Can I be honest with you?
Hey, I went down this rabbit hole, dog. So you're gonna wait a second, and then you can be honest with me.
Okay.
And then there was another one that was only 20 years old. She got fired because she kept trying to talk to the other players inside of clubs. But she was only 20. So she wasn't even supposed to be inside of the club.
Now can I? No,
So-
still more.
so
Still
I
more.
mean-
Oh, okay. There's more.
So I mean, like, you know, other than that, and the fact that Trayvon Diggs signed a contract, I didn't find the most information in looking at it.
Good.
I guess.
I did not hear you for the first part of all that. I tried to be honest with him before, and then he was like, "No, let me keep going." Sorry, your dad sent me a trade offer that was like blowing my mind because it don't make no sense. He wants to give me Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Lazard, Brandon Ayuk, James Cook for AJ Brown. No. Throw in a first round pick, then maybe. We're going to counter that later.
A lie. That's you got some work to do on that trade though. That was crazy.
Now, so your dad knows how to trade, right? Like he knows Elliott don't even play for nobody.
I think he was hoping you don't. As we're sitting here talking about the Cowboys.
I don't have a podcast about football, so
But like,
I don't
hey,
know valuable players.
my stomach's about to get sick if we talk about the Cowboys for too much longer. So, that being said, I don't think that it's their year. They are not America's team. Haven't been for a while, I would say, probably. And maybe a 5-12.
All right. Sorry, I about threw up in my mouth because what I'm about to say is hurtful. Like, it's gonna hurt coming out.
It's gonna hurt after it comes out too if you say the wrong thing.
Maybe I don't want to say it
I
now.
said, what? Give me a
Just with how
boxer
good
left
Pollard
hook.
is and this trio wide receiver they got going on, this team could be a 7-10. It sucks to say that because, like, I don't like the Cowboys, but I have Pollard on my fantasy team, so I gotta support it some way.
The only way they go 7-10 is if their defense keeps them in games.
Hear that, Michael Parsons? Step up your game.
Their defense will be what carries them. No doubt. But it's like all their secondary guys that are going to be the ones carrying them, not the ones in the trenches. So, for all you guys with the running backs, feel free to run all over them.
So with all that being said about the Cowboys and,
And the Cowgirls and the actual Cowgirls. Do what? See, this is why you can't just miss stuff in the middle of your podcast.
I'm sorry, but when somebody sends me a trade offer like that, I'm like just zoned out at the moment trying to think about what made you think that was a good trade offer.
That's okay. We can move on to the Cheetah Girls now.
Yeah, we're going to move on to what I believe is the youngest division, the AFC South. So, let's get into the Jaguars. Honestly, last season blew me away from the season before. They completely took that team and turned around.
You think they turned around last season? Imagine the turnaround that's going to happen this season. Because they had 13 draft picks this year, dude. 13.
Was 14 too much?
I guess. But hello, there's only 7 rounds.
I mean, that's a lot of draft picks.
They stacked their picks right.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence is out there doing his thing.
I mean, from a team that the season before was terrible, coming into last year's season, did great, went to the playoffs, blown everybody away in the playoffs on that comeback game because they were losing 27-0 and coming back to win it 31-30. Like, bro.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely wild. And didn't he go get like Waffle House after that?
I think so, actually. Hey, shout out to Waffle House
No.
being open so late.
We love you for those 3 a.m. trips.
Oh, dude, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Like, my mouth is actually like water.
That's called salivating, kind sir.
Honestly, like, I felt like their draft couldn't have gone better because they got what they need already. So with their first round pick, they got an offensive tackle, Anton Harrison.
Yeah, they did.
So
With their 7th, they got Cooper Hodges, another tackle.
yeah. So,
One of their 7ths because they had 13 picks.
But with Anton Harrison, he's a potential starter because of left tackle Cam Robinson will be suspended for violating the enhancement drug policy.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, no, I couldn't find out what it was though. I looked into it.
So, shout out to Anton Harrison. Hopefully you can prove yourself and become that starter and take that lead role.
While we're talking about taking lead roles, do you think Travis Etienne's going to hold on to his, or do you think that Tank Bigsby, who they drafted in the
I've
third
heard
round,
a lot of mixed stuff about that. I heard that there's
is
going to
gonna
be
come
like
in
a
and crash?
1-2 punch. I heard that Bigsby might actually do better than Etienne. And I heard that Etienne is going to keep that lead rolling until maybe next season.
I mean, they are two totally different types of running backs. I mean, Etienne's more of a elusive back, and you got Tank Bigsby, who is literally Tank.
I was about to say, living up to the name.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, his parents named him right. Or parent. I don't know. America's built weird nowadays. I know my family was.
But then in the second, with their second pick, or not second pick, sorry, their next pick, they picked up a tight end, which kind of surprised me because they just re-signed Evan Ingram to a 3-year, $42.5 million deal.
And then they went and drafted who?
Luke Farrell.
What are you talking about?
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
My bad. Brenton Strange. Because, sorry, I had in my notes, it was backwards.
Luke Farrell?
Farrell.
Farrell.
Or Farrell.
Farrell.
But
Farrell.
he's the one that's behind Evan Ingram right now. Brenton Strange is the rookie they drafted.
They also got a Sammy Reyes and a Leonard Taylor that just signed.
What is with these teams with tight ends?
They're trying them out because they all suck.
Like, are you guys trying to find the next Travis Kelce, the next Mark Andrews, George Kittle,
Yeah,
Dalton Schultz,
they all
Dallas
need those.
Goddard,
They all
Cole
need those
Kmet,
guys.
Robert Tonyan?
And instead, they could have just got those guys when they was up in the market.
I just don't think you need like 4 or 5 tight ends on your team.
I mean, maybe if they want to go ahead and play
Unless
double
you
tight
think that,
end,
like-
because their wide receiver core isn't that good. I mean, they got Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley, but
Yeah, Christian Kirk just being by himself as a wide receiver one showed a lot of potential to carry that team. But adding Calvin Ridley, I think is going to be great for Christian Kirk.
I mean, it will be, but I don't think Calvin Ridley's going to be there too long. I mean, he is on the older side of things. He graduated late on top of that. Like, he came into the NFL late. Now he's already been playing a few years.
I did see with Calvin Ridley that they're not having him like run full OTAs right now. They're basically just having him do conditioning since he had a year off, trying to get him back into, all the right breathing movements, like as you're running, just trying to get him back into wide receiver shape. So I did see that. Another side note that I wanted to make, all you Christian Kirk owners for fantasy, his value most likely is going to go up with Calvin Ridley coming back this season. I feel like it's going to take a lot of defenders off of Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is fast, so he's a great vertical wide receiver. So I would expect Trevor Lawrence and him to connect a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could probably see that. They did go out and get another wide receiver in the draft, though. His name was Parker Washington. They got him in the 6th round, so we might be seeing a little bit of him this year out on the field. Somebody to kind of look at in what might be a easy to pass wide receiver 3 position. You know what I'm saying? Because, besides him, they only got Jamal Agnew and Zay Jones, I think.
Yeah. And I believe right now Zay Jones is their 3rd.
Yeah.
So,
not saying much.
speaking about backups and everything, and when you were talking about Tank Bigsby, the Jaguars actually have 4 running backs. It's Etienne, Bigsby, JaMychal Hasty, and Dearness Johnson, I believe, or Jones.
Johnson.
What was crazy is another thing. Like I said before, it's not set in stone, but on ESPN depth chart, they got Bigsby as the number 2.
I believe it.
So what I'm about to,
Especially over Hastings.
what I'm probably projecting to see is that you're going to see like a 1-2 punch. Saying Bigsby's probably going to be like that third down running back guy and goal line guy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see that. I mean, it all just depends on how they work it out. I don't think we'll be seeing much of Jermichael Hasty at all, though. I think he'll be put on the
Not
back
this season,
burner
not as
and-
much as you've seen him last season when they got rid of James Robinson. So
Yeah, and Tank.
now that they got
Bigsby.
somebody to make up for that spot, you're probably not going to see Jermichael Hasty, nor will you probably see D'Ernest. Honestly, D'Ernest might hit free agency.
Yeah, definitely possible. I mean, that's pretty much all I got for their offense. Their defense, though, they had quite a few things change up for them there as well.
What changed up on the defense?
Okay, well, I mean, they released Deontay Thompson, one of their safeties. They ended up getting 2 safeties in the draft to kind of make up for that spot. I think they're going to make them kind of fight for it. They got a Rayshon Jenkins still there with them. He's probably going to be filling that spot from the start, but they said that in the OTAs, the first or second OTAs, they had their Antonio Johnson guy that they drafted in the 5th line up right next to him, kind of practicing his exact coverage routes, his exact tricks, basically, mentoring him. So, I mean, I think that might be a little duo that we're going to be seeing coming up. They got Trey Herndon and Chris Claybrooks. They also drafted a Christian Broswell for their cornerback list.
Didn't they get a rookie last season?
Yeah, that was Trey Herndon, I believe.
Thought there was another guy.
Or it could have been Tyson Campbell. Or it could have been Darius Williams. Actually, I think it was Darius Williams. Fact check. Oh wait, we don't have one of those yet. Dang. Get us to 1,000 subscribers and we might be able to afford a fact check guy. Right now we only got our cameraman that sits back there like this. He just watches all videos silently. He sometimes laughs, but he doesn't think we're very funny. They also got, their biggest change. Oh my gosh, they got Josh Allen, dude.
The Josh Allen?
No, not the quarterback, but like the linebacker.
Oh, dude, if they would have got
They had him last year too.
I know.
But
all I'm saying is like they had, yeah, because everybody made that joke like Josh Allen tackled Josh Allen.
I mean, Josh Allen's good, baby.
Could you imagine that though? Just somebody, Josh Allen tackled Josh Allen. That's
What?
like saying Justin tackled Justin.
Good tackle, Josh.
High fives yourself.
Oh man. Also part of that linebacker squad, they got Foyesade Aluahaken, or however you say his name. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he came from somewhere, Tennessee maybe. They also got Travon Walker.
That's who it was.
That's who it was. I got his jersey card not too long ago.
I
They
couldn't
got-
think of the name. I was like, I don't know, for the longest, like, I was like, is it Trayvon Thibodeau? And I'm like, no, that guy's the Giants. I'm like, who went?
I'd have busted out
the
laughing when you said
Jaguars.
that.
And then he finally said it. Jesus, dude. Oh, that was eating at me because I was like, dude, they got a good rookie. Who is it?
Well, you're welcome. They also got Clavon Chasen.
I don't know who that is.
That's ridiculous. You're ridiculous. He's a guy who always be wrapping a whole ball of tape around his hand.
What's he doing? Punching him? I
Hey.
think that's illegal in the game.
Basically, but it's just like, no, it
I
ain't.
think that's like illegal to do in the game. If you're like taping your, hand up like you're about to fight.
Not all the way. No, it's just like a little club hand, basically.
Oh.
regardless, he's a dog. They also drafted 2 other linebackers because they didn't think they had enough. We're not going to get to the names. Probably aren't going to be important. They got way too much depth in the linebacker position. On their line, Corey Peters retired. He's gone.
Out of here.
Then they drafted 3 other people for their defense in this year's draft. But, I mean, like, hey, because they had 13 picks, so they could afford to do that.
Yeah, it feels like they just, with the last bit of those picks, they was just, grabbing people to grab them at that point.
And they finally said goodbye to their kicker as well. Riley Patterson is gone.
Out of here!
I like it. You almost sound like Timmy from South Park.
Dude, I haven't watched that in so long.
Am I wrong? Out of here! I didn't get it, but you got it. You got it, dude. And then they signed Brandon McManus from the Denver Broncos.
Really? I'm surprised the Broncos even let him go because he was the best player on the team last year.
Russell Wilson sure wasn't. Javonte Williams would have been if he didn't get injured, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that team was just sad last season. I feel bad for so many people that probably played.
That's who I'm coming back for in the draft, Javonte Williams.
Why would you do that to yourself? He's not even starting the first game. It's even been said.
What?
That he's not going to be 100% by the first game.
That's crazy.
So crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Alright, I guess I won't do that then.
Alright, guys. As you guys know, we are done talking about our post-draft of these 3 teams. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel, following us on Facebook. Oh, I thought you had something to say. You were pointing.
Keep going.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ballin' with the Boys. Or if you guys want to on TikTok, my boy Masters Inc. as he creates short videos. And as you guys know, make sure to shout us out, subscribe. Because if you ain't ballin' with your boys, who you ballin' with? Woo!